better quarterback.
Yeah.
That Lamar Jackson and the Ravens would agree to a contract extension. Happy to welcome in Kevin Clark, Courtney Cronin to continue our NFL conversation. So, Kevin, which quarterback's starting job with their current team is more on the line, Jackson or Hurts?
It's Jalen Hurts. I mean, last year, and listen, Jalen Hurts is one of the best winners of his generation. There's so many things we can say about him as a player and as his tenure in Philadelphia. Last year were a little discouraging. Jalen Hurts had by far his worst year downfield passing. He wasn't hitting open guys as much. That went down huge year over year from 2 years ago last year. And so there's a couple of things. And now the scapegoat, Kevin Patullo, is gone. He was the offensive coordinator last year. Jalen Hurts has to put up real numbers, real wins in this offense, or else there's going to be a lot of calls for his not only job, but just the entire tenure in Philadelphia. You're about 5 minutes away from the hot seat at all times in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts is 5 minutes away.
Well, the calls can come, but they don't need to be answered because of his contract situation. They're putting the clock on you for how long you're going to still be the starter here.
I don't think the Ravens think there's a lot of Lamar Jacksons out there. I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles think there are guys out there in the draft and free agency who could put up Jalen Hurts' number. I really do think that.
If you're Baltimore and you think that you can go out there and just go grab another Lamar Jackson out in the world, good luck.
Their drafting strategy, though, shows you. All I say that to say.
To hold on to this dude no matter what. If you get a little too much dip in your chip and feel like you can just go out in the world and find another one, this is a franchise-altering mistake that you could have. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, there are some of these alarming signs about Jalen Hurts, like Kevin was saying, like the article that came out a couple months ago about all.
Enough from the clown.
This vision of just being the best that I can be.
Boy, I appreciate you. Let them know. Let the boys know, man. Tell them get off your back.
Never backing down from a challenge. Always turning my negatives into positives. That's what it's about. I'm not going to look back at anything and remember anything that someone said about me or an opinion that was had. I'm going to think about the championships that we won.
The championships that we won, man, that's what all matters. And that's all it should matter at this point. But again, when you got people who continue to disrespect the Super Bowl MVP, and I feel like we got to keep it real. We got to keep it real because none of these quarterbacks, other than Jalen Hurts, have done. There's only about two, and that is Patty Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Yes, the rest has won a Super Bowl, but they weren't Super Bowl MVPs. Where Jalen Hurts is in the conversation for a Hall of Fame career, right? And you look at it, he has done what he was supposed to do, and that is be a winning quarterback. And to me, when you look at Jalen Hurts and you look at the people that say stuff about him, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. You heard what those people have been saying. But let's look at the double standard from Jalen. I keep hearing it. He does it all, right? Josh Allen does it all, supposedly, right? But Jalen Hurts, when it comes to winning, he wins. You know what I'm saying? But Josh Allen supposedly does it all. It's not his fault. Josh Allen is allowed to get excuses. Lamar Jackson, you know what I'm saying? Coaching the roster, the injuries. It's not his fault. He has no weapons. You know what I'm saying? Through situations. I'm sorry. What's it say? Tough situation. Excuse me. Dak Prescott, coaching. You know what I'm saying? Changes, injuries, just bad luck. Defense, blaming defenses. You know what I'm saying? He has so much pressure on him. Not his fault. These are what the people be saying about him. And every single time you look at it, they disrespect the Super Bowl MVP. I keep hearing these narratives. And my question is to y'all, And let me put the poll up. Is this Jalen Hurts the disrespected quarterback out there? I think he is. I don't care what nobody says, man. Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP. And whether you want to admit it or not, he is that dude. He is that dude, and he is going to be that dude for a long time. And for people who keep saying and they're saying that Jalen Hurts isn't this and that, well, what's your narratives for all these other quarterbacks about not winning? Why can't, like, I keep hearing that these guys are special, the Josh Allens, the Patrick Mahomes, right? But at the end of the day, Jalen's beating them. Like Justin Herbert's supposed to be this special quarterback, but yet he can't win a playoff game. What is it about the whole notion that we have to rely on stats, not wins? When did it become stats? Because when you look at the 90s, when you look at the 2000s, it was about winning championships. When McNabb lost the Super Bowl, what was the criticism for him? That he never got the Super Bowl. It was never about stats. Right? What was the criticism for a lot of these other quarterbacks like Steve McNair? Right? Like all these other quarterbacks that came out. Warren Moon. What was the criticism for Dan Marino? He was a great quarterback, but he never won the bowl. So where's the narrative now? How did it change from winning championships? Because when you look at the greats, like Terry Bradshaw, like Troy Aikman, like Joe Montana, all these guys, Steve Young, John Elway, Brett Favre, all these other guys, what was the number one thing they always praised them about? Winning Super Bowls. Are we remembering these quarterbacks? I keep saying, does anybody remember Jake Delhomme? Does everybody remember Jake Plummer? All these guys. No, you don't remember them unless you look them up. Unless you're an old guy like me who's 26 years old that's been watching football for a long time. Do y'all remember any of these quarterbacks? No, you remember the Kurt Warners. Why do you remember Kurt Warner? If Kurt Warner doesn't win his Super Bowl, is he remembered? No, he's not. And this is the problem that I had with the narrative. Jalen Hurts will always be remembered. He will always be remembered. He will be in the history books. Are these quarterbacks going to be in the history books? Are they going to be in the history books? Jalen Hurts will always be remembered. He is a Super Bowl MVP. So the whole notion that these are about winning stats. And again, let's listen to the idiot who's on ESPN. And you know, my problem with this is they hire guys on ESPN who clearly hate on Jalen Hurts. I think they do it on purpose. Who hate on Jalen Hurts. But listen what they say about Jalen versus Lamar, the double standard.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens would agree to a contract extension. Happy to welcome in Kevin Clark, Courtney Cronin to continue our NFL conversation. So, Kevin, which quarterback's starting job with their current team is more on the line, Jackson or Hurts?
It's Jalen Hurts. I mean, last year, and listen, Jalen Hurts is one of the best winners of his generation. There's so many things we can say about him as a player and as his tenure in Philadelphia. Last year were a little discouraging. Jalen Hurts had by far his worst year downfield passing. He wasn't hitting open guys as much. That went down huge year over year from 2 years ago last year. And so there's a couple of things. And now the scapegoat, Kevin Patullo, is gone. He was offensive coordinator last year. Jalen Hurts has to put up.
How is he the scapegoat? He was the worst offensive coordinator in football. What's with the hair on your head, man? You need to take a pair of scissors and cut that shit for real before you open your mouth.
Real wins in this offense, or else there's going to be a lot of calls for his not only job, but just the entire tenure in Philadelphia. You're about 5 minutes away from the hot seat at all times in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts is 5 minutes away.
Well,
but Justin Herbert's not in the hot seat.
But they don't need to be answered because of his contract situation. They're putting the clock on you for how long you're going to still be the starter here.
I don't think the Ravens think there's a lot of Lamar Jacksons out there. I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles think there are guys out there in the draft or in free agency who could put up Jalen Hurts' numbers. I really do think that.
If you're Baltimore and you think that you can go out there and just go grab another Lamar Jackson out in the world, good luck.
Their drafting strategy, though, shows you. All I say that to say.
To hold on to this dude no matter what. If you get a little too much dip in your chip and feel like you can just go out in the world and find another one, this is a franchise-altering mistake that you could have. Meanwhile, Philadelphia, there are some of these alarming signs about Jalen Hurts, like Kevin was saying, like the article that came out a couple months ago about all the sort of the discontent about the way he's playing, switching up calls, the reluctance to run, and how much that he needs that to be good. He had his lowest pass rate and lowest completion percentage last year. Like, it was not a good season, maybe his worst season. I know what he has in the resume is 2 incredible Super Bowl performances, winning one and outplaying Patrick Mahomes in the other one. You cannot deny that. But age and time with a quarterback like that, and the coordinators that he's had, and the way that this team has not performed when he's been the quarterback are real concerns for the Eagles.
David, you just nailed it. Moving on from Lamar for Baltimore would be a franchise-altering mistake. I don't think Philadelphia thinks they have another quarterback. It's a franchise-changing mistake.
That's because you're viewing it in the way that becomes like the toxic discourse around quarterbacks, the system. Put him in a good situation this year, he skyrockets, and we're talking about a different topic at this time next year. Can Jalen Hurts lead his team back to a Super Bowl? That's what it becomes.
Who's a better quarterback?
Better quarterback. Yeah. Statistically, numbers-wise, better quarterback, Jalen Hurts. He won a Super Bowl, Kevin. I can't.
Jalen Hurts is, again, I started this rant by saying he's a remarkable quarterback who's won a lot of our quarterback for yours.
Enough from the clown.
So, yeah, no, I mean, this dude, first of all, man, you got a piece of hair on your head. What are you trying to do? You trying to go viral by hating on this quarterback, man? Because I'm pretty sure this was the quarterback that was in the
vision of just being the best that I can be.
Boy, I appreciate you. Let them know. Let the boys know, man. Tell them get off your back.
Never backing down from a challenge. Always turning my negatives into positives. That's what it's about. I'm not going to look.
I don't see Lamar Jackson holding a Lombardi trophy or someone having confetti dropped on him. But yet the double standard for Jalen Hurts, and I want people to understand, it's a double standard. It's not about right or wrong. It's a double standard. They don't want to admit they're wrong about him. They don't want to admit they're wrong. Hopefully y'all can hear me. They don't want to admit they're wrong about Jalen. So they come with the dumb stuff and say, Jalen Hurts can get replaced. How do you replace a guy like Jalen Hurts? Let's really talk about it. How do you replace a guy that's been a winning quarterback, that's a championship mindset? Y'all think that grows on trees? Y'all really think it grows on trees? If that was the case, why can't the Jets not get the quarterback situation right? Why is it that people forget that it's hard to find a quarterback in this league that wins at a high level like Jalen Hurts? And the double standard is all these quarterbacks are supposedly great. Look at the excuses that they make for Josh Allen. He's fantastic. He's great, but he don't win. And that is the narrative. Is Jake Delhomme remembered if he won a Super Bowl? Yes, he would have been remembered. Do people remember him still? No, they don't. Why? He didn't win. He was in the Super Bowl, though, but he never won. If Jalen Hurts don't win a Super Bowl, is he remembered as a quarterback that people are going to pay attention to? Or are people really going to talk about Jalen Hurts if he don't win the Super Bowl? No. And see, when you win a championship, you got haters who want to take your spot. You got haters who want to take your spot. I'm tired of the narrative that Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. What's a good quarterback to you? A good quarterback to me is when he's able to win at a high level, go into playoffs. Can you trust Josh Allen to win you a Super Bowl? No. Can you trust Lamar to win you a Super Bowl? No. Can you even trust Justin Herbert? Justin Herbert can't even win a playoff game. But yet all these quarterbacks are supposed to be great quarterbacks, right? Yet they don't win. Why are we sitting there trying to act like Jalen didn't just win the Super Bowl? Why are we acting like he didn't just win the Super Bowl 2 years ago and we already talk about his replacement? ESPN's already talked about his replacement? I don't see you talk about his replacement for Justin Herbert. And then when I see Get Up, they give Nick credit, but they don't want to give the quarterback credit. You're okay with sitting there saying Nick Sirianni is a great coach, but you don't want to say Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. Same with these other people, right? They won't give Jalen Hurts credit, but they'll give Nick Sirianni credit. And to me, if the coach gets credit, the quarterback should get credit also, because he's the most important position on the field. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a sorry narrative, bro. It's a sorry narrative. One more time for the people who hate on Jalen Hurts, that shit on him, but want to respect Josh Allen on these guys that don't win.
Enough from the clown.
That's all I got to say to them. And these people who sit there in little podcasts and talk highly disrespect about Jalen Hurts, say he's not a good quarterback, y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Enough from the clown.
You don't. So that's how I feel, man. It's hot as hell. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. When you sit there and you tell me that Jalen Hurts is not a great quarterback, but you want to tell me that Lamar Jackson is great. You want to tell me Lamar is great. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You want to tell me Lamar's great, but you don't want to tell me that all these other quarterbacks who don't win, it's not their fault, right? It's never their fault, right? It's never their fault. Let's take a look at it. Again, when did Troy Aikman become a bad quarterback? Is Troy Aikman labeled as the GOAT? But yet they want to disrespect Jalen Hurts, man. And I don't understand it, bro. I don't get it. I don't get it. Look at the numbers. Look at them Cowboy fans over there talking about, oh, he's not Troy Aikman. Really? Troy Aikman had a great offensive line. Troy Aikman wouldn't be anywhere close without the talent around him. Are we not sitting there saying Troy Aikman's a bad quarterback? Are we sitting there saying Troy Aikman shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame? Troy Aikman is a GOAT because he won Super Bowls. He's up with Joe Montana. He's up with the greats. When you talk about greatest quarterbacks in the 90s and 80s, who do you remember? Troy Aikman, right? Troy Aikman, Joe Montana, the Brett Favres, the Elways, the Dan Marinos. Does anyone remember Jeff George? No. Nobody remembers Jeff George. Does anybody remember Ryan Leaf? No, nobody remembers. Why? Because they didn't win. I know they're different years, but still, that's my point is Jalen Hurts is the Troy Aikman of the NFL. And Troy Aikman was a very good quarterback. People want to sit there and want to downgrade Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman was a four-time Super Bowl champion. Four-time Super Bowl champion, two-time MVP, I believe, and a Hall of Famer. Are people going to take away Troy Aikman's credentials and say he's not a good quarterback, man? But Troy Aikman had a lot around him. So did Joe Montana, excuse me. So when I hear people throw the narrative that Jalen Hurts is winning because of talent around him, I just think it's idiotic. Because you look at the talent around Jalen Hurts and you look at all these quarterbacks. Tom Brady had talented rosters around him. He did. Peyton Manning had to win a Super Bowl in Denver with the greatest defense. And he had talent around him. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, a really good defense with Fraley. What are we talking about? Joe Montana is the GOAT, but he had Jerry Rice. Look at the defense he had in the 80s. Ronnie Lott. Look at the defense he had. All these quarterbacks. Eli Manning. Eli Manning's a two-time Super Bowl MVP. He had Plaxico Burress. He had Jeremy Shockey. He had Tiki Barber. He had a great offensive line. Do we shit on him? Do we criticize him? There's a lot of people who do, but I don't criticize him. Why? Because he won. Look at Steve Young, another one. Steve Young didn't win until he went to the 49ers with a loaded roster. Do we take anything away from him? No. But it's okay for us to shit on Jalen Hurts. Why? Why is it? We praise Tom Brady for carrying the Patriots to, well, they praised Tom Brady for winning Super Bowls in New England. But he had a loaded roster around him, too. You're going to say he had a top defense. And you're lying if you don't think he had anything around him because you're lying. You're lying. Is Tom Brady going to be good if he goes to the New York Jets? No. He wouldn't be the same. So what is the narrative that we want to push? And I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy that we don't want to accept that Jalen Hurts is the Troy Aikman of the NFL, and they don't want to admit that. They want to hate on him. They want to hate on him. They want to hate on the guy, but they want to praise guys like Troy Aikman. Dallas fans Why did they become Dallas fans? Why did they become Dallas? It's fucking hot. I don't care at this point. You know what I'm saying? But why did they become Dallas fans? Why did they become Dallas fans? Because of Troy Aikman, right? Because of Emmitt Smith, right? You're okay with Troy Aikman, but you're not okay with Jalen Hurts, who do the same thing Troy Aikman does, right? Make great plays when he needs to. Let the running game happen. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for Dak Prescott to have a 1,000-yard running back. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's okay for the Cowboys to have a loaded roster every year, but if Dak Prescott don't have that, is he winning anytime soon? No. But what do they talk about in Dallas land? They talk about Dak Prescott needs weapons, right? But when Jalen Hurts has weapons, it's a problem. It's a problem. And when they talk about Josh Allen, what did they say? He needs weapons, right? But it's okay for Jalen Hurts not to have weapons. Same with Lamar Jackson. His biggest issue when everybody says, the critics, is he has no weapons. Oh, okay. So it's okay for you to shit on Jalen Hurts and say he don't need weapons or he's winning because of a roster, but it's okay for you to act like Lamar needs weapons. Which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? And please let me know. Please let me know. Please let me know so I can tell you how much of a fool you are. Let's compare quarterbacks for real. Let's compare quarterbacks. Let's compare quarterbacks. Now, I want to do this real quick. Let's compare quarterbacks. You know, so first of all, you got a Cowboy fan in the comments. This is how delusional they are, man. This is how delusional they are, bro. They're out here talking about our quarterback. Your quarterback might get going next year. Why is it a Cowboy fan who clearly has no room to talk is over there on Twitter saying, if Howie decides to move from Jalen, have you not seen Dak Prescott? Have you not seen your quarterback? Have you not seen the quarterback that can't even win a divisional round in the playoffs? And yet you have the nerves. Hey, let me put some clown music on for y'all. Because y'all had the nerves to talk crazy about a Super Bowl MVP. But your quarterback can't win the big one. He is yet to make it to the NFC Championship game, and Jaden Daniels made it further than him. But congratulations on the Dallas Cowboys for making a meaningless list. A meaningless list. And they over there thinking we are worried about the list. We're not worried about the list. We're not upset about the list at all. We're upset the fact that they disrespect Jalen and put guys like Dak Prescott, who can't win a playoff game, over Jalen Hurts. That's what we're upset with. That's what we're upset with. But you Cowboy fans have a lot of nerve to talk about Jalen. Dak Prescott is a bum. He's a 2-5 bum. He's $60 million bum. He's never won a division round. He's a loser in the playoffs. He is the definition of a Phillip Rivers. He's a definition of a Phillip Rivers. He's a definition of Kirk Cousins. So when you sit there and you make jokes about Jalen Hurts, remember who your quarterback is. Remember who your quarterback is, man. Remember who your quarterback is.
Enough from the clown.
So I just want to let you know. Remember who your quarterback is. Remember who your quarterback couldn't win with. Remember who your quarterback couldn't win with. This is the quarterback that y'all praise and say is better than Jalen. Come on, bro. Get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here with that. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And then they sit there and they praise these dudes, bro. And I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't seem to understand how you praise these guys. But let's look at the stats for real. Let's compare for real. Let's compare. How is Joe Burrow better than Jalen? They all have similar stats to me. Jalen Hurts is 16 for 20. Joe Burrow is 26 for 37. Jalen has 236. Joe Burrow has less yards than Jalen Hurts in passing yards. But they say he's better than Jalen. But the eye test on the stats says otherwise. Y'all go with stats. Why don't you go with this stat? Why don't you go with this stat, bro? Damn, it's hot. Don't let me leave the air conditioner on, bro. I don't care. Why don't you let Why do you let all these stat nerds compare these stats and try to compare Joe Burrow to Jalen Hurts? What is with y'all, man? Y'all want to pick and choose? Y'all want to pick and choose, man. 135, 2.5 rating, 84.7. Jalen Hurts, to me, is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow. He is. He throws the ball better. I think he's a better overall quarterback than Joe Burrow. And people might disagree with me. What does Joe Burrow do better than Jalen Hurts? We got to analyze. What does Joe Burrow do better than Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts is more efficient than Joe Burrow. Jalen Hurts can throw the ball better. He is a bigger, in my opinion, he is a better arm than Joe Burrow. And if you think, because I had a Bengals fan in my comments, somebody, oh, Joe Burrow is better than Jalen. He's not better than Jalen. Jalen has more passing yards than Joe Burrow. 13.2. Look at it. He has more ratings than Joe Burrow. He has more rushing yards than Joe Burrow. He has more rushing TDs than Joe Burrow. How is Joe Burrow better than Jalen? If Jalen Hurts has more passing yards than Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts has more TDs and interceptions than Joe Burrow, because he has how many interceptions did Jalen Hurts have versus Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow has 1-1, a TD and interception. Jalen Hurts had 1-0. Come on, man, what are we talking about? Jalen Hurts had 132.25 rating. Joe Burrow 84.7. 37-yard TDs. Joe Burrow has 15, man. So when you glaze Joe Burrow, man, but you don't want to glaze the Super Bowl MVP, man. What the hell? You don't want to glaze the Super Bowl MVP, but you want to glaze Joe Burrow and all these guys, right? The white quarterback y'all want to praise, man. You want to make excuses for these quarterbacks, but when it comes time to praise Jalen Hurts, you don't like that. You don't like that. You make so many excuses for these quarterbacks. It's a double standard for Jalen Hurts, but it's okay for these other quarterbacks to get passes. It's okay for Lamar to play like complete garbage. I heard an ESPN dude say today that Jalen Hurts played ass versus the 49ers. But then Josh Allen played ass versus the versus the Denver Broncos. Didn't Justin Herbert play like complete garbage versus the Patriots? How about the Texans? Y'all don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk about Lamar Jackson not making the playoffs, but y'all crown these guys. Y'all don't want to talk about CJ Stroud being absolute garbage versus the Patriots, or Drake May being trash versus the Seahawks. But you're okay with Jalen Hurts trashing him, right? It's okay for you to do it to these quarterbacks until you bring up these other quarterbacks, and then they get there in their feelings, man. This is what they say about him. Can't throw. System quarterback. You mean the same system quarterback that y'all love to talk about? Y'all love to talk about a system quarterback, but the system quarterback is Troy Aikman. The system quarterback is Tom Brady. Let's count how many Hall of Famers are system quarterbacks, shall we? How many quarterbacks are running quarterbacks? How many quarterbacks are gunslingers? I don't see no gunslingers, but I see system quarterbacks. Joe Montana was a system quarterback. Eli Manning was a system quarterback. Tom Brady was a system quarterback. Steve Young was a system quarterback. Peyton Manning was a system quarterback. But it's okay for Jalen Hurts not to be a system quarterback. Instant. Hit that like button. Appreciate for rocking with me. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't understand the hate for Jalen Hurts, and I cannot wait for him to go off. I can't wait for him to go off, because when he goes off, man, I don't want to hear no excuses. Let me put myself on camera, bro, because I want you to understand what I say. I want you to understand what I mean when I say I can't wait. When he goes off, and which he will, I want no excuses from y'all. Not one. Not one peep out of y'all. Don't talk about he had a loaded roster. Don't talk about he had a loaded... Shut up. Shut up. Zip it, be quiet. When he wins another Super Bowl MVP, when my quarterback holds that Lombardi trophy, I better not hear peep from y'all. And I DM'd every ESPN dude, and I said too, you better not run your mouth about Jalen. Because y'all love to make excuses for all these quarterbacks. You better hope that Jalen doesn't do what I think he will. And that is go out there and put belt to ass on a lot of these teams. I want no excuse. Don't come on my videos talk about Jalen Hurts is overrated. He was carried. Shut up. Shut up. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you this year. Because there's been a lot of disrespect, right? Jared Goff is better than Jalen, right? Right? Josh Allen, those quarterbacks better win. Because if my quarterback finds his way in the Super Bowl and he wins another Lombardi, it's going to be hell for a lot of these fans, man. I am going to really go off on them. Because I get tired of hearing the same stuff over and over again. Jalen isn't this. Jalen Hurts ain't that. I'm tired of hearing about the quarterback that won us a Super Bowl, but y'all want to praise these quarterbacks that don't win. I want no excuses. So can y'all do that for me? Because if he goes off, I want nobody to shit on him and say he had a loaded roster. No, he don't have A.J. Brown anymore. Y'all don't want to put Devontae Smith. I saw the list today. Devontae wasn't even on the list today. Cool. So there should be no excuse when Jalen balls out, right? Devontae's not a top 10 receiver, according to y'all. Right? I know the narratives will switch up, but I don't care because I don't want to hear it this year. We told you that Jalen was going to go off. Y'all want to shit on him. You want to take away the year he had a bad year. This is the first time he had a bad year. Statistically, what everybody keeps on saying, even though he didn't have a bad year, statistically, people say he had a bad year. This is the first time he will ever have a bad year like this, like last year. It will never happen again. It's rarely you've seen Jalen Hurts have bad games and bad years when he even made the playoffs. So I don't even know how that's even possible. But let's get to the point. I want no excuses from y'all. I don't want to hear from y'all. I don't want no excuses from him when this guy balls out. I don't want to hear you talk about the roster. I don't want you to talk about the defense. Don't talk about how your quarterback's superior. If your quarterback does not become a Super Bowl champion, I'm talking about Josh Allen, Burrow, Lamar, all these quarterbacks, I want you to sit there and close your mouth while we enjoy the success this year. Because I'm pretty sure you ain't going to like the videos because I know I'm going to win at the end of the day. See, Cowboy fans, they over there making comments about Dak. Dak Prescott won't make the playoffs this year. I'm banking on that. Dak Prescott won't be in the Super Bowl this year. I promise you he won't be. But you know who will be? Jalen Hurts will be. I promise you 100%. Before Dak goes, Jalen will get another one. Before Justin Herbert gets one, Jalen will. Justin Herbert will never win a Super Bowl. These quarterbacks will never win a Super Bowl. And they still will make excuses why these quarterbacks are superior. Why they're this. I want no excuses, man. I'm getting tired of the narrative. I'm getting tired of the people disrespecting Jalen. You don't want to put him in your top 10. That's cool. I'll put him in the top 10. I'll put him in the top 10. Because if we're doing my list, Jalen's number one to me. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, Joe Gigolo, let me ask you a question, bro, because I hope you see the stream. Why didn't you say have the same energy today that you had 2 days ago with Elder Shore Parks with me? Because I saw you disrespect Jalen Hurts again. And see, this is what you do. You sit there and you tuck your tail between your legs. But you sit there and you talk about how Jalen Hurts ain't the best quarterback in Eagles history. But you didn't say that about when it was on my channel and BG31's channel. Where's the energy for you? See, that's why I need Joe Gigolo back, man, because I want to correct him on some things. He said Jalen Hurts isn't the top 10 quarterback. Bro, he's been the best quarterback we ever had in franchise history. I mean, again, what is a top 10 quarterback to you? Do you want statistics or do you want guys that win? So in your words, this guy ain't in top 10 on the left side. He's not an elite quarterback. No, because if you look at it, Jalen Hurts has better numbers than him. Joe Burrow isn't Jalen Hurts' level because Joe Burrow has less passing yards. Why he has Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Why does he have more? Why does he not have more? So I just want no excuse when Jalen balls out, man. I want to make this perfectly clear. I want no excuse for this guy. I want you to shut your mouth when this guy goes off and let us enjoy our season. And I don't want no Cowboy fans to make excuse for Dak. Don't talk about your defense. Don't talk about your offense. I want nothing from you. You better zip your mouth, right? You're bragging about a list that means nothing. Let's see what the list looks like when Jalen goes back to another Lombardi and Dak Prescott sitting at home on Cancun Beach with a drink in his hand like he's always been doing. Because I'm so tired of hearing about Dak. Dak is the most overrated fucking quarterback I've ever seen. Gets so many freaking passes. Him, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, the most overrated quarterbacks I've ever seen in my lifetime. Gets so many handouts, so many excuses. Put Justin Herbert there too. A loser that can't win playoff games. I am tired of the narrative that we want to push for this quarterback, but we want to use other quarterbacks and make excuses for it. Because if we're going to be real, what are these quarterbacks doing with their lives? What do these people want from my quarterback? My quarterback's been to 2 Super Bowls, and you would think that would be enough. But apparently not. So when Jalen Hurts balls out, I just want nothing from y'all but zip your mouth and shut the hell up. I want y'all to pretend that your mouth was sewed up with a sewing machine. And I want you to be quiet for the rest of the season. When this guy turns around and has an MVP year, which they won't give it to him, but he will have an MVP year. They'll give it to someone like poor little Lamar Jackson, who has no more career touchdowns than Jalen, and they'll make excuse that he had no weapons. Because that's what they do. Or they'll give it to Justin Herbert, who has nothing compared to Jalen. Because they hate us that bad. But it's cool. Jalen's going to go win another Super Bowl MVP. And you're going to sit there and look stupid on camera, going to look dumb on the comments, and you're going to try to act like your quarterback's better. And I'm going to say 2-time Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. How many Super Bowls does Josh Allen have? I'm going to say 2-time Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. Yeah, that has a good ring to it, doesn't it? Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You better believe it. Jalen's about to win another Super Bowl. I know this dude. And I know the hate that he's been getting. It's going to hurt you so deep down, you're not going to be able to handle it. If Jalen wins another Super Bowl, I want nobody to make excuse for these other quarterbacks. Don't talk about Dak. Don't talk about Lamar. Has no weapons. Nah, man. Dak has a number 1 offense this year, right? 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 He should be able to win a Super Bowl this year. So when Dak don't win, which he will not win a Super Bowl this year. I want to let Cowboy fans know your quarterback has more pressure than Jalen Hurts does. Because Jerry Jones, if you don't know who Jerry Jones is, you better know who he is. Jerry Jones will get rid of Dak if you don't win. So while you making comments about Jalen Hurts and you laughing, just remember your quarterback is 2-5 and never won a Super Bowl, never been to a division round. You better hope, and I want you to look in my eyes, you better hope your quarterback performs at a high level. Because while you sit there and you praise that little list that you had, that garbage ass fucking list, and you over there praising the list, the only guy that I respect out of the Cowboys Nation is M. Breezy. M. Breezy, who is a Cowboy contra who keeps it real, that understands his quarterback is not better than Jalen. But some of these dope ass Cowboy fans that want to sit there and act like Dak is better than Jalen, let's see how good Dak Prescott is when it comes to playoff time. I bet you he won't be there. I bet you he won't be in the division round. I bet you Jalen will be. It's getting really, really close to season football, and I cannot wait. We are close to football, and I can't wait for week 1. Because Washington's in for a rude awakening, too. There's a body bag coming for them. It's not going to be close. I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts is about to put belt to ass week 1 and shut everybody up this time. Because they had him rated below Jaden Daniels. When Jalen's been owning Jaden Daniels since he got into the league. Jaden Daniels is a puppy compared to Jalen. But it's funny how y'all disrespect Jalen. It's funny how you make excuse for these quarterbacks, but you praise all these other quarterbacks. I want no excuses for Jalen when he goes off. I just want to let you know right now. So don't come on these comments and talk about Joe Burrow's better when he doesn't make the plus. Nah, man, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, I'm going to keep saying to you. When he wins another Super Bowl and he wins another Super Bowl MVP, you better not say shit to me at all. I'm going to be on your ass. Pause. I'm going to be directly disrespectful to you. And I am going to let you know right now, I might call WIP and curse them out. Because the shit they be saying, oh, there are going to be a lot of people mad. The haters that hate on Jalen Hurts, that don't want him to succeed, you're going to be crying this year. You're going to be crying this year. You say he can't throw the ball. You've been disrespecting this quarterback since he got into the league, and enough is enough. But apparently, you want to test Jalen Hurts and you want to make him mad, and that's cool because Jalen loves that. Jalen goes out there, he shuts a lot of people up. Every time when he balls out is when people disrespect him. You ever notice every time he has a bad year, he bounce back with a Super Bowl MVP or in the Super Bowl? You ever notice that? Because Jalen Hurts don't have 2 bad years in a row. That doesn't happen with him. It's rarely you see Jalen Hurts have a bad year. It's rarely you see him with a good off score and not make the bowl. And Sean Mannion will make him successful, so you better watch out. You better watch out. You better watch out. Because all the narratives are going to be out the window. And it's going to be real evident when they sit there and make excuses. And I'm going to say, shut up. I'm going to go on TikTok and I'm going to tell them to shut up. While they sit there and praise Dak Prescott, I'm going to say, did he make the playoffs? And while you come with I'm going to say Jalen made the Super Bowl. Where was your quarterback at? I'm telling you right now, I am going to be disrespectful this year. You're about to see another level that you never thought you would see in your lifetime. Because all the shit you be seeing about Jalen Hurts, I got receipts for y'all. Just let you know right now, you better hope all the ESPN goofballs, all the 94 WIP hosts, Spike Eskins, all these clowns that want to disrespect Jalen, I want to let you know personally, I got something for y'all. Because the disrespect to Jalen Hurts will not be tolerated. I'm tired of the narratives being thrown out on Jalen. I really am. And people say he's not disrespected. You're lying. You're lying. You know it. You know you're lying. I see people in the comments say, well, he's right where he needs to be. Really? Really? One bad year defies his whole career as a starter? You acting like Jalen had 4 bad years. He had 1 bad year, and because he didn't have an off corner that was good enough to get it done. But we want to act like he didn't do nothing. We want to act like he didn't win a Super Bowl. And it's hilarious how you sit there and throw the narratives he can't throw over the middle. So every time he throws over the middle, I want you to understand I'm going to be sitting back laughing. I'm going to sit back and laugh and tell you, I thought you said he couldn't throw over the middle. You told me that he couldn't throw the ball. What happened? What happened? And you know what's going to happen because Jalen's going to go out there and ball out. He's going to do more than Dak Prescott will. So while you making comments in the comment section on Twitter and you laughing at Jalen Hurts, remember your quarterback still hasn't got to a Super Bowl yet. Jalen's been to 2. Yeah. You can talk about regular season all you want. How did that work out for all these other quarterbacks regular season? Carson Wentz had regular season wins. He didn't win a playoff game, and they Philly got him out of here. You don't think Jerry Jones is going to trade Dak Prescott if he don't win a playoff game this year or doesn't advance to a division round? I know Jerry Jones. Jerry's going to get rid of him. Jerry's going to have a chance to go get Archie Manning. He might tank this year to go get him. If you don't win, your defense doesn't win, Dak Prescott better show he's that guy. Because I'm tired of y'all, man. I really am. I'm tired of Cowboy fans trying to act like their quarterback superior. Dak Prescott is 2-5. Jalen's already been to 2 Super Bowls, man. And whether you want to admit that he won it or not, it doesn't matter. He still has a Lombardi on his record. He still has a Lombardi trophy in his background. When you look at it, you can't get rid of that picture. It's still in your head. 24/7. The only thing you can do is AI at Dak Prescott and pretend he has a Lombardi trophy because it's not reality to y'all. You didn't get one. Y'all want to talk about Troy Aikman. You love talking about all these rings, but your quarterback is the same conversation as Jalen Hurts. He had talented rosters left and right, and that's when the cap space wasn't even existing. Back then, you could sign anybody you want without any cap hit, without any cap space. So that's what people don't understand. Howie Roseman is doing it with cap space. Jerry Jones back then didn't need to. It was never such thing as the cap space back then or cap hits. There was never such thing as that where you lose free agents. Because once the Cowboys had been introduced to cap space, which Jerry Jones was part of the reason why it happened, y'all haven't been back in the Super Bowl in a long ass time. So I want to let you know, Cowboy fans, all this shit you say about Jalen Hurts, you better hope your quarterback performs at a level. Because if you don't think Jerry Jones is going to get rid of Dak Prescott after this year and go get Archie Manning, you don't know Jerry Jones. He's been talking about it for a while. He's been talking about it. And guess what? I'm going to sit back and laugh and enjoy my quarterback win another Lombardi and watch y'all sad, pathetic asses run around here talking about Dak has no weapons. And I'm going to say, shut up. I don't want to hear y'all. Right? Dak's a winner, right? Dak's better than Jalen, right? Yeah. I got receipts, man. And guess what? I don't want to hear no excuse when this guy balls off. I don't want to hear y'all. Time after time, this quarterback's been disrespected. And it's not a message. This is a fact. I guarantee you, Jalen will have a better career than most of these quarterbacks this year that they keep on putting above him. I guarantee you, Jalen will be better than Drake May. I guarantee you, Jalen will be better than Dak Prescott this year. Jalen will have more yards than any other quarterback this year. I promise you this one. He will have a better career than Josh Allen. He will have a better career than Joe Burrow won't even make the playoffs again this year. They're going to be replacing him soon. So while Jalen is winning a Lombardi, all these experts that they want to say they're experts or they want to rank quarterbacks, they can explain to me why Joe Burrow is out of Cincinnati the following year. They can explain to me why C.J. Stroud might not get a new contract and Jalen got one. They can explain to me next year why Justin Herbert might be traded in the offseason because he can't win the big one. They can explain to me why Dak Prescott's future in Dallas isn't certain and Jerry Jones ends up making a move in the draft next year and drafts his replacement. And they sit there and cry on live. Because I'm telling you right now, I see it all through. I see it when it's not even coming yet. All these quarterbacks that they love talking about, they're on a short leash that you don't even think they are. The Justin Herberts, he better perform at a high level because he won't get replaced. The Lamar Jackson, I guarantee he won't be the Baltimore Ravens quarterback in 3 years. And it won't be Lamar not wanting to come back. It will be the Ravens getting tired of him. Where Jalen Hurts will be successful and be on the Eagles for a long ass time. And while you haters sit there and make excuse for Lamar on a new damn team, while you sit there and make excuse for Joe Burrow being traded, I'm going to sit there and say, wow, I thought Joe Burrow was elite. I thought he was one of the ones. Because I see it. I've seen this before. We're not new to this, man. We're not new to the Jalen Hurts. Hey, we shouldn't be surprised. But at the end of the day, it gets annoying and it bothers me. It doesn't bother me about the list. It bothers me they want to discredit what he does. Or they want to sit there and make their little cute little statements in the beginning and talk about, yeah, Jalen's the most successful quarterback. But, well, if he's successful, how the hell is he not a top 10? You just said on ESPN that he has all the successful traits. I heard this dude who praised Lamar Jackson said he'll take Jalen Hurts in the playoffs. Why not take Lamar? But you trust Jalen Hurts in the playoffs more. Why is that? Well, no, don't trust Jalen Hurts, right? He's not good enough. Wait, hold up. If he's not a good quarterback, then why do you trust him in the playoffs so much? Their narratives are full of shit, man. Their narratives are full of shit. And they make so many excuses. Why don't you trust Lamar Jackson? Why don't you trust them more in the playoffs? Huh? You people make me mad sometimes, bro. And the shit you say, I love it. I love it, and I can't wait. 2 more months until season starts. We're in July, right? August, September. We're about close, man. So I want to let y'all know something. This year, football season, I'm going to be disrespectful if Jalen goes off. You better hope every single time Jalen doesn't win those games. Because if Jalen goes back to a Super Bowl, I'm going to be right here on live, cursing, swearing, and criticizing a lot of people this year. I want to give you a heads up this year. And you can look at my eyes and think I'm not playing around. I'm not playing around this year. There's so many times they disrespect my quarterback, and I had enough. Had enough. I'm tired of the narrative, man. The quarterback's been most disrespected. Jalen's the most disrespected. It ain't Dak Prescott. Dak gets more love than Jalen. When he came and win a division, I want to let you know personally, I'm going to be your worst nightmare. You think 2024, when I went off on people, was any, oh, you didn't see nothing yet. 2022, when I was telling Giant fans to shut up, you thought that, oh, you didn't see nothing yet this year. I'm trying to tell you right now, you better hope Jalen go. You better hope. And you talk about glazing. Listen, man, you glaze Dak Prescott 20%. Get off my stream, bro. Respectfully. Dak Prescott won't be the quarterback in 2 years. Jalen will be. But since you want to talk about it, tell me something. What's going to happen when your quarterback doesn't win a bowl this year? Because I know Dak Prescott, he won't win this year. You're not going to the playoffs this year. I'm going to tell you right now, you are not going to the playoffs this year. You won't be in the playoffs this year, not further than Jalen Hurts. You won't be seeing no NFC Championship game. I promise you, mark this, put this on record, because I always get these facts right. Dak won't win a Super Bowl this year. He will never win a Super Bowl. And your quarterback in the next 2 years, you're going to switch Dak Prescott to Archie Manning. Archie Manning is coming out next year. You better hope your quarterback provides, because I don't think your quarterback is that great. I don't give a fuck what the ranking says. I don't care. Because we already know who the rankings are made from. Jeremy Fowlers that never played football. Guys like Mike Tellenbaum, who was a horrible GM. We know deep down, Dak's a loser. Dak's a bum. Dak is a 2-5 sorry-ass quarterback that can't win the big ones, and it hurts you to admit that. You know deep down, Jalen Hurts is better and will always be better than Dak Prescott. Jalen wins at a high level. Jalen does more than Dak Prescott. And if Dak Prescott was on the Eagles, he wouldn't win shit with the Eagles, but Jalen would go to Dallas and win another Super Bowl with Dallas. And you know deep down, Jalen's better quarterback than Dak. If Jerry Jones had a chance to get Jalen Hurts right now, he would trade Dak a heartbeat and get Jalen Hurts in free agency right now. If Jalen Hurts end up being on the trade block, you best believe it, Dak Prescott will be out the door, because Jerry Jones would do anything he can to pair him up with CeeDee Lamb. You don't think Jerry Jones wanted Jalen Hurts? Remember something. Jerry Jones was scouting Jalen Hurts in the pre-draft. Yeah. Why do you think he drafted CeeDee Lamb? Let me remind you, he drafted CeeDee Lamb so he can get Jalen Hurts to pair them up with each other. We stole Jalen Hurts from y'all. We did. Jerry Jones saw Troy Aikman and Jalen Hurts. Why do you think they drafted CeeDee Lamb? Let that sink in. Who was his college teammate in Oklahoma? This is going to be good. Oh, he left. He didn't want to be here anymore because I just shut him up. Cowboy fans forgot Jerry Jones was going to draft Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts wasn't taken by the Eagles, the Cowboys would have jumped up and taken him from any other team. They were going to replace Dak. The only reason why they couldn't replace him because Jerry Jones is smart enough to understand there's no quarterback out there until next year when Archie Manning comes out that can replace Dak right now. But if Jalen Hurts landed in Dallas, Dak would be out the door already. He wouldn't be the Cowboys quarterback. You think they're paying him over Jalen Hurts? Absolutely not. Jerry Jones would have drafted Jalen Hurts. And if Jalen Hurts became available, I guarantee you Lamar would be out the door. I guarantee you Justin Herbert would be out the door. I guarantee if Jalen Hurts became available, which the media doesn't understand that. The media doesn't understand. How do you get a quarterback to be on the Eagles? You disrespect them. That lowers their value. Because deep down, there's a lot of teams that would chase Jalen Hurts over guys like Justin Herbert. You call up the Texans right now, you don't think they would trade C.J. Stroud immediately for Jalen Hurts? I know they will. See, they don't want to play that game, bro. They don't want to play. If the Baltimore Ravens called the Eagles right now for a quarterback, they would trade Lamar so fast for Jalen Hurts because they know deep down Lamar can't win the big one. Why do you think Lamar has not got paid yet? They think it's easy to replace Jalen. It's easy to replace Lamar before Jalen Hurts, though, because it's not easy to find championship quarterback mindset. Why do you think Lamar fell the way he did? Because he wasn't efficient at the pocket. And Jalen Hurts is. If Jalen goes to Baltimore, since everybody wants to play the if game, Jalen Hurts goes to Baltimore, he wins 5 Super Bowls with that roster, 100%. That 2023 season when you were making excuses for Lamar, he wins that Super Bowl. He goes to Cincinnati and wins a Super Bowl. He goes to Buffalo and wins a Super Bowl. They don't understand. Their quarterbacks can't do what Jalen's doing. They don't understand that. If Jalen became available for a trade, how many teams do you think would be lining up to trade their quarterback for Jalen? A lot. A lot. Just like people swerving down A.J. Brown was a bum, according to ESPN, but now he's the greatest receiver. How is that possible? You were shitting on A.J. Brown when he was in Philadelphia. When he was in 2022, you weren't, because you were shitting on him and talking crap about how the Eagles should trade him. And now he's traded to New England. Now you want to act like he's the greatest receiver. You know what I'm saying? It's only because he's in Philadelphia do they treat Jalen Hurts badly, because they don't like the fact the Eagles are winning. If Jalen Hurts was in another uniform, they wouldn't be treating him like this. They wouldn't. It's a double standard for these quarterbacks, because these quarterbacks, if they were in Philadelphia, they would be shitted on the way Jalen Hurts was shitted on. So when you look at it, I'm not even worried about what they say, because we know deep down Howie ain't trading Jalen Hurts, but Jerry Jones might trade Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones might get rid of Dak this year. You best believe it. If Dak does not perform at a high level, and you could talk about all you want to talk about glazing, glaze this, glaze the fact that Dak won't be your quarterback in 2 years. Dak will not be your quarterback in 2 years if he don't win the big one this year. You best believe it. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in free agency next year. Jalen will have a contract extension, because I know what Jalen's about to do. So while you talk about glazing Jalen Hurts, yeah, I'm going to glaze the guy that's going to be a 2-time Super Bowl MVP. See, I hear it. I see it already ahead of time. Just like I knew Jalen Hurts would win the Super Bowl in 2024. I knew that. Your nightmare is here. So get ready, because Dak won't be in the bowl. Neither will Justin Herbert. Neither will Lamar. Neither will all these guys. It will be Patty versus Jalen Hurts again. And Jalen will win again. That's my Super Bowl prediction. Sam Darnold will not be back. It will be Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes again. That will be the Super Bowl prediction I have. I guarantee it will be. I somehow know it will be Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes again, because Patrick Mahomes is going to go back and redeem his division again. He's going to have a better roster than he had last year. They got a better offense corner over there. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be more healthy, right? I think they have more. They have a good corner they just drafted. They got weapons around him. There will be no Josh Allen going back to the Super Bowl. His Super Bowl window is over. They don't even know it yet. And Josh Allen once again will show in the playoffs what he's always been showing. He doesn't have changed his mindset. And they'll make excuses. They'll blame DJ Moore, or they'll blame Chauncey Gardner Jr., or they'll blame anybody but the quarterback. We're going to watch all these quarterbacks this year show all the highlights of them, and they'll praise Lamar Jackson. But when it comes to playoff time, they're going to be watching Jalen Hurts and Patty. Mark my words. I can't wait for the season, because you better hope Jalen Hurts doesn't have a great year. You better hope that he doesn't have a great year, like I think he will. Jalen Hurts is about to ball out, man. He's about to ball out. And I just want to let y'all know I'm here for everything when this kid goes off again. I'm here for all of it. I want all the smoke this year. Every single bit of it. I want you to sit there and tell me one more time that your quarterback is better than mine, where I can sit there and laugh at your goofy ass. I want you to sit there and want to praise these guys like Dak Prescott. Remember, Jalen Hurts, I want you to let you know all these quarterbacks that they praise is better than Jalen. Half of them won't be in the bowl, man. But Jalen will have another Lombardi. And I want you to memorize this picture, because you're going to see him with another one when he goes to L.A. When he goes to L.A. and he wins another Lombardi again. Jalen thrives under the pressure, man. Jalen, one thing we don't got to worry about Jalen, that a lot of these quarterbacks, fan base got to worry about, these fan base got to worry about their quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, Lamar, is they fold under pressure. When things get tough, when they have pressure on them, they fold. They don't come through. Jalen comes through every single time. And I know y'all waiting for him to fail, but he won't. He won't. And I'm going to sit and laugh and enjoy every moment while they sit there and make excuses. Oh, he has a roster. Nah, man. Nah, bro. He don't have a roster. Remember? A.J. Brown was the reason why Jalen Hurts won those Super Bowls, right? Right? You know, he was the real reason why they didn't win the playoffs, right? Nah, man, I don't want to hear that. When he makes Mekhi Lemon a Pro Bowler this year and makes him elite receiver, don't blame Jalen Hurts' roster around him why he won. No, don't make excuses. Because we try to tell you, but you wanted to be the know-it-all. You wanted to be the guy that wanted to shit on this quarterback because this is your only opportunity to do this. Because another time you're not going to be able to do this. So get all that shit that you be saying about Jalen Hurts, get it all out now. Do it all now. If you got videos unreleased about Jalen Hurts being exposed and all that, get it all out now. Because I promise you, when you turn that all 22 film coming out soon this year, you're not going to have anything but anything but guilt in your body. You're going to have to say nice things about Jalen Hurts, and it's going to hurt you the most. I want to let everybody know this, man. I am going to sit back and enjoy this season. I don't care about this list, man. This list don't mean nothing to me. Because I know who my quarterback is, bro. See, y'all don't know who your quarterback is. See, Dallas Cowboy fans don't know who their quarterback is. They're hoping Dak wins the bowl. He won't, though. He won't. They're hoping Justin Herbert will win Super Bowl MVP. He won't, though. He won't be in the bowl ever. They're hoping Josh gets over the hump. He won't, though. Jalen will be a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, man. And I can't wait for y'all to understand that when you poke the bear or you put your hand in the ocean water, you are more likely going to get bit by a shark or you're going to get bit by a bear. It's like when you put yourself as bait in the ocean, what do you think is more likely going to happen? The shark comes and hunts. And Jalen Hurts is the shark, man. See, he smells blood in the water, man. Everything you've been saying about Jalen Hurts, the media tries to act like they're the top dog. They're acting like they're going to shit on Jalen Hurts, but Jalen's just waiting for his opportunity. He's waiting for his opportunity. He's waiting to show you once again why he was Super Bowl MVP 2 years ago. And this time, he's going to have an offensive coordinator that's actually going to be able to call plays without Nick getting involved. Because the only way you can shit on Jalen Hurts this year is if Nick gets involved more and it doesn't do what he's supposed to do and stays out the way. Because if Nick stays out the way like I think he will, it's a rapid scapsy for y'all, man. And you know deep down Jalen's about to put belt ass on a lot of these teams, man. Washington's first one up. They're about to get their brain split one more time for good luck. They're about to get their ass exposed week 1. Jaden Daniels going to be lost in the sauce when he has to go against his defense. And Jalen's about to show once again why he's a elite passer. Because we don't got distractions anymore. A.J. Brown ain't here anymore, bro. Devontae's not going to demand the ball like A.J. Brown's going to do it. So this is what's going to help this quarterback is he's going to be able to pass the ball without worrying about a diva receiver or worrying about a coaching that can't call plays. Because I believe in Sean, man. I think he's going to have a better career than Christian Parker. I think he will be a elite offense coordinator. I might start saving my money for tickets, man, because I'm telling you right now, I might go to some Eagle games, man. Because I cannot wait to see y'all faces, bro, when Jalen balls out, man. There's going to be a lot of crying faces this year. There's going to be a lot of crying faces this year. And I cannot wait for it all, man. You have a good one. Flag was fly, and I'm out.